Hello students, today we are learning about module 5, that is contract management post award. In the module 4 we have learned about the contracting process, that is before the contract is awarded to the contractor, what are the procedures to be followed, that we have learned in module 4. In the module 5, once the contract is awarded for a particular contractor who is selected from the tendering process, what are the procedures to evaluate him and what are the procedure of the uh, security deposits and its process, and during the contract period if any arbitration occurs, how it should be solved, and what is the payment process, payment method, everything we will be learning in module 5. To start with, the performance security. This is type of bond. This is like a type of bond. If this is like a guarantee, assurance given by the person who had received the contract. Performance security includes the performance bond provided by a bank or insurance company, retention funds, or performance guarantees by a surety person. If the contractor runs away without performing his work, which is under document, under contract period, this is like a security deposit, which is to secure the owner. There are different types of security bonds. On demand and conditional. All this you can go through this. Next is mobilization and equipment advances. Usually, the owner will not pay the amount to the contractor before the construction work completes. It will be issued. The payment will be passed in the stepwise process according to the stages of construction activity. Before that, any stage of work has to be started. Some fund has to be transferred to the contractor to mobilize the equipment, to mobilize his work and to bring some equipment as security deposit the contractor has to give. All these and to bring any materials for the construction activities. Just to mobilize the activity, the owner has to pay some amount to the contractor, that is mobilization and equipment advances. This is given to the contractor without any measurements taken for the work. This is to mobilize the man and materials. That means to bring the labor, to pay some advances for the labor and for the material resources. The contractor has to invest. To help him, the owner has to give some amount to mobilize the man and material for the construction activity. This is about mobilization and equipment advances. You may expect some short notes on these topics. If it is given, then depending on the marks allotted, you have to write this in points. Next is earnest money deposit. Earnest money deposit is the amount which has to be deposited by the contractor before when he submits the tender. This we have already learnt in module 4. This is the deposit which has to be submitted by the contractor during the tendering process before the work has been allotted for the contractor. This is about 2% of the estimated cost of the project. Next is security deposit. This is also the amount deposited by the contractor, but this will be done once the contract is confirmed for the contractor. Once the contract is awarded once the project is awarded for the contractor, this amount, that is about 10% of the cost of the project, has to be deposited by the contractor to the owner just to confirm his work. That means he will be doing the work. That work, just for the confirmation, he has to deposit this amount. This 10% includes the 2% of the amount it has already paid during the tendering process. That means extra 8% he has to deposit once the contract is confirmed for him. Next is suspension of work. if the owner has to suspend or pause the construction activity due to some unavoidable reason, then it is called as suspension of the work. Uh, for due to this pause of the work, the contractor will be in loss. To compensate that loss due to the damage of such activity, then the owner has to pay some. The owner will request the contractor to stop the work. This will be included in the clause. So this will be allowed. This is called as suspension of the work. The owner, when the owner is requesting the contractor to stop the work for some period of work, for some period of time, then it is called as suspension of the work. Time limit for completion. When the contractor, this is the reverse of the suspension of the work. When the contractor cannot complete the work due to some unavoidable reason, for a when he can't complete the work which is given in the contract time, that is during the contract period, that is in the contract there will be mentioned the time of completion of the work. If the contractor cannot complete his work during that time due to some other reason, then that delay should be compensated. That is called as time of completion. He has to, if that is the situation, then he has to apply for the extension of time in writing to the engineer in charge, and he has to guarantee that after whatever the time has delayed, that time will be compensated in any other means during the contract period. Next is liquidated damages and bonus. There are actually two types of damage. One is liquidated damage and another one is unliquidated damage. Liquidated damage is the amount of compensation payable by a contractor to the owner due to the delayed construction with having no relationship with the real damage. This damage is not with the physical damage of the construction work. This is when the contractor delays his work, then the owner's profit will be decreased. If he has a plan of giving the building to rent or some other activity, then he will be in loss if the contractor delays the construction activity. That compensation should be paid by the contractor to the owner. That is liquidated damage. This is not the damage of of any property of the building, any property or any materials damage. It is not like that. Unliquidated damage is a ordinary damage having the relationship with the actual damage done. If the contractor has broken if there is any breach in the contract, breach is not following the contract norms by any of the parties of the contract, whether it may be by the owner or by the contractor, then that is called as unliquidated damage. This should also be compensated by the person who has done this damage to the person who has suffered the damage. On a similar lines, if the construction activity have been completed at a faster rate and it is completed before the time which is being mentioned in the contract, then the owner has to pay some bonus amount for the contractor. This is called as bonus or incentives for early completion. That is called as bonus payment. Occasionally, this will be mentioned in the contract condition. Even if it is not mentioned, the owner can pay some amount as incentives to the contractor. Next is measurement book. This is very important book which will be maintained by the engineer in charge at the construction site. In this book, he has to mention all the materials which is supplied to the site along with the quantities and material name, everything. In this measurement book, all the details with the tabular column, index column, Everything will be mentioned in detail that has to be filled and duly signed by the engineer in charge. Not only the materials which is supplied to the site, but also the measurement of day-to-day activity, day-to-day construction process, day-to-day stages of work. Everything will be mentioned in the measurement book along with the measurements, which work, everything should be written in the measurement book, and it should be signed by the engineer as and when it is done. And also this is a very important book that if this book will be missing, then the person who is in charge of this can be punished, and any extra columns, extra lines or extra page should not be left out. If it is left out, it should be diagonally crossed and duly signed by the in charge person. And also there should not be any caught or any mistakes in this book is not allowed. If it is done, it should be attested by the person in charge. And there are still other extra rules which should be followed in this book, which are in point wise. Please make a note of this clearly. Copying of the measurement book is not allowed. Erasing or re-entering is not allowed. And cancellations, everything is not allowed. By mistake, if it is done, then it should be attested. Usually in this measurement book, after the construction of any stage of work, then the measurement is taken and recorded. But in cases of reinforcement work or a road work or any construction clearance of the jungle or any in such cases, after once the work is done, the work cannot be measured. So in such cases, the measurement should be done before the construction activity completes. That is called as pre-measurement. Example, reinforcement of construction work. If the concreting is done, the reinforcement cannot be seen and measured. So the reinforcement calculation should be taken before the concreting has done. This is called as pre-measurement. Similarly, clearance of jungle. Once the jungle is cleared, we can't measure. So before the jungle clearance, it should be measured. Similarly, in the construction of the road, the coarse aggregate or fine aggregate or any other materials used for the construction work cannot be measured once the work done is once the construction activity has been completed. So in such cases, it should be measured before it is completed. So that is also called as pre-measurement work. Next is payment of bills. This is also a very important part for the contractor. Once the work is done, this is like the bill cannot be given at once if it is of large scale construction activity. All the amount will be delivered at each and every stages of work. But if the contract is for a short period of time, or if it is for a small or item work, that means only earthwork excavation or only concreting, at one shot we can pay the bill. There are different types of payments of the bills, and also there are few rules to be or few instructions to be followed while preparing the bills. You can go through this. One important instruction is whether it may be any kind of payment, any kind of construction activity, whether it may be a small scale or a large scale. Everything, all the details of construction activity should be measured and maintained in a measurement book. Before the bill passes, these measurement book should be checked, should be cross-checked. Quantity of the work, quality of the work, everything should be scrutinized before the bill is passed. And the rates allowed per unit as per the agreement should be entered against each description, and quantity of the work or supplied or received, everything should be maintained. You can go through these instructions for the payment of the bills. And next is types of bills. This depends on the scale of the work or the procedure which is mentioned in the contract. First and final bill is this is one-time payment for some period of for some type of job or some type of contract. At one shot, the owner will be paid amount for the contractor, and then the work will be done. This is called as the first and the final bill. A running account bill is, this is for the large scale work at each and every stage. Once the value of the work is measured, then the bills are proceeded. This is running account bill, or it is just like which is the payment which is done during the process of work, which is given to the contractor as and when the work proceeds without measuring the work, and then later it will be balanced through the by checking the measurement of work in the later stages of other bills. Lump sum contract bill, this is also this is the number of intermediate payments, that is advance payment as lump sum contract and the running account bill. Hand receipt, it is a simple voucher which is issued to the contractor once the payment is done. Modes of payment, this is also similar to the types of payments. One is mobilization advance. Mobilization advances, this is also we have explained at the starting itself. Before the work has been started, to mobilize the activities, just to help the contractor, the owner can give some amount to the contractor without measurement of any work which he has done, just to mobilize the activity, like to pay for the labor or for the material, or to give for the materials or to bring some equipment as advances. The payment will be done just to mobilize the activity. This is called as mobilization amount. First time payment bill we have already explained. Final payment is by checking all other payments which is done. This is a payment which is done at the final stage of the work. By checking all the payments which is given to the contractor, deducting all those events, all those amounts, whatever the remaining amount is there, that will be calculated properly, and finally the contractor will be paid for. Intermediate payment is during the construction activity, just like as a mobilization advance is the starting payment, intermediate payment is also the mobilization advance which is paid in between the construction activity. Advance payment is also on a similar line. Secured advance payment, almost everything is same, few others details are there here. See, this is also like that, is a payment made on the running account bill to the contractor. Running account bill is already the contractor is paid with some other amount at different stages of the construction activity. During that stage, some advance amount is paid at different stages of construction process, so that it will be adjusted. This amount will be adjusted to the subsequent bills in which the actual measurements have been taken. Secured advance payment, the payment will be made only after clarifying the quantity of material actually being brought to the site. This is slightly different from advance payment. Advance payment is done without measurement of any work and which will be adjusted through the other bills. This secured advance is by measuring the correct quantities which is brought to the site. The engineer in charge will take care of this. After clarifying all these things, the contractor will be paid for the amount. And also the contractor should not be paid for the same thing in the previously for the same material, and the material should be in good condition. After cross checking all the quality and quantity of the materials, the contract will be paid for. This is called as secured advance payment. Preparation of the bill. To make the payment with the contractor, the bill is first prepared by referring the abstract of the measurement book. There is a link between the measurement book and the preparation of the bill. The payment will be based on the clarifications which is given in the measurement book. Checking of the bills. If the bill is a running account bill, then it is compared with the previous bill. It should be checked whether the deductions in the following recover in the following recover are made. Recovery of the advance payment during the construction process. As I said, the contractor will be paid for at many stages of the construction work. It may be when the material is brought to the site, or for the as a mobilization advance he will be taking the amount, or to bring some materials or equipments he will be taken at different stages of the work, but it has to be cross checked at every stages. Once the at some point all the previous history has to be checked, and then the final bill is made, whether the advance payment has been recovered in the bill, whether all the recovery in aspects in respect to departmental materials issued to the contractor, hiring charges for the department tools and plants, amount to be withheld towards the security deposits. All these things should be checked. Still many are there. You can go through this. Penalty, uh, if any damages he has done, or if anything which is not compensated by him, if it is slow progress, then some penalty should be deducted. All these things should be checked as and when the work has been done or during the billing time. Recoveries, whatever we have just seen these points, all such points are explained here. Cost of materials issued, higher charges. That means what are the stages he might have received the amount, all those things should be cross checked. What are those are explained here. So once everything is cross checked, the passing bill will be there. Preparation of payment of final bill will be done after checking of all these books along with the measurement book. M book is measurement book. Additions and alterations or variations and deviations. In the contract, each and everything will be mentioned. In the module 4, we have learned the contract process and what are the things will be there in the contract document. In the contract document, specifications and the quantity of the work, everything will be mentioned. Rate, everything will be mentioned. But in case owner wishes to change any alterations other than which is mentioned in the tender document, then the contractor has to be paid by the owner for some alterations or addition of work which is done. The work which is in addition for the other work which is mentioned in the contract document, then that is called as addition and alterations, or variations and deviations. Both are same. It may be the alteration with respect to design of work, or the alteration with respect to the quantity of work done. Whatever might be the alterations, but it has to be paid for the contractor for the quantity and quality of the work he has done. Valuations of variations. This is the whatever the alterations which is done by the contractor, that has to be evaluated, and then it has to be contractor. Variations may be valued by agreement between the contractor and the client, the cost consultant, and many more things. EOT is extension of time. Due to this alteration, there may be the extension of time of completion. That is EOT. Breach of contract is, as I said earlier, some contract rules will be there. If that rule is not followed either by the owner or by the contractor, then that is called as breach of contract. Penalty on contractor. If the breach is done by the contractor, then he has to pay some penalty for that. That is called as penalty of contract. The breach can be of any form. It can be of slow progress is also the breach of contract, because in the contract terms, the time limit will be specified. If has not followed that time, then also it is a breach which is done by the contractor. Then he should be paid for that. That is a slow progress damages. In that contract document, it will be clearly mentioned there should not be any damage for any of the properties or any of the construction things. Then it is called as damages. That should also be uh, done by the that should be compensated by the contract. That is a penalty on a contract, a termination of contract. If the executive engineer or the contract is empowered to terminate the contract if the contractor is a person who is not trustworthy, and if he has done some illegal damage or some bankruptcy like that, then the owner is having the right to terminate of the contract, or anything which is uh, if that happens, then some amount has to be paid by the contractor to the owner. Or if he is next is blacklisting of contractor. If he is illegal, if he is a person who do some illegal activities or cheating cases are there, then that contractor will be blacklisted. That means any tenders, he can't attend any tenders, or he can't do any other construction activities legally. Then it is called as blacklisting of the contractor. Time extension of contract is also due to some unavoidable activities. The time limit can be extended. This is about that we have already discussed. Termination of contract. When the contract can be terminated, all these things are there. You can go through this. Settlement of account or final payment. This also we have already discussed. For the final payment, in the types of payment or modes of payment, it is the final payment which is given to the contractor by referring all the M books and all other previous bill which is given to the contractor. All these things will be checked, and then the remaining amount will be paid. That is called as the final payment. Claims. It is a demand by a contractor for the payment of an item or item of work carried out by him on behalf of the employer, which is already identifiable amount. This is like additions and alterations, which is done by the owner, which is not in the contract. If additions or some alterations has been done with reference to the owner, then he should be paid for that extra or additional work which is done by the contractor. That is called as claim. One is contractual claims, and another one is extra contractual claims. Contractual claim is in the contract documents itself, they will be already mentioned. That means they can suspect that if this happens, then you can claim. The owner can say that you can claim for this expected extra work. If that is there, then it is contractual. Extra contractual means this is which is decided by the owner once the contract document has been done. That means in the contract document that extra works will not be mentioned, or that clause like you can claim later, that will not be mentioned. For such things, if the contractor has done some extra work other than that, then it is called as extra contractual claims. Delays and compensation. This is also almost we have discussed. If it is if there is any delay of construction activity, whether maybe from the contractor mistake or any other unavoidable conditions, whether that problem might have arisen from the owner or the contractor. If it is arised from the owner, then he has to pay some amount as compensation for the contractor. If it is from the contractor side, he has to pay the compensation for the owner. It is like that. There are few conditions here. You can go through that. Next is arbitrations or disputes and its resolution mechanism. During the process of contract, if there is any argument between the owner and the contractor, the owner can be a department or a government, one who had given the contract to the contractor. There might be a dispute between them. If that is the case, and if they can't solve themselves, the reason might be of anything. If they can't resolve the issues by themselves, then an intermediate person called the arbitrator will be appointed. He will be appointed by the agreement from both the parties. Both the parties has to agree the same person to just resolve this issue. That person is called as arbitrator, and this process is called as arbitration. And that person, the arbitrator, can resolve these activities. And that arbitrator person can be of private lawyer or he can be appointed legally. He is called as impartial person, or the persons who knows, that person is known as arbitrators or a referee. And its process are mentioned here. Depending on the intensity of the issue between the two person or argument between the two parties, then the seriousness of the matter also intensifies. And what are the different types also it is given. Everything depend on the intensity of the argument between the two parties. And what are the types of arbitrators are also mentioned here. What are the process, how he gets appointed, how he submits the case, how the hearing occurs. Everything is mentioned here. Next is contract management and administration. This summarizes the contract process actually, from the type of acceptance against the quotations. That means during the tender process, how we accept the quotations, how the contractor's quotation has been accepted, and what are the process, etc., how the contract is awarded, initial work. This summarizes whatever we have discussed. Bill payments, generation of daily progress report, final payments, and contract closure. This just summarizes, this flowchart summarizes the work or the topics we have discussed till now. This is the contract management process workflow chart. Whatever we have discussed till now, that is about contract management. All those things are, again, here it is discussed systematically. That's all. This whole thing is about the contract management, its efficiency, how the administration works, goes on, how the drawing is registered, how to write the notices and site photographs during the construction process, contractual documents, occupational health and safety documents, etc. have been mentioned here. Depending on the marks which is asked in the question, you can write the things. So this is about part A of module 5. I'll come back with part B, that is evaluation process, in the next video. If you have any clarification, we can discuss. Thank you.